24/7 database was the largest and most sophisticated of its kind in the world, maintaining collections of fingerprints and mugshots, lists of wanted persons, DNA samples and travel documents. Their lost and stolen travel document database alone contained more than 12 million records. But after an exhaustive search, Danny had found no other crimes that even vaguely matched the Jakes, Henley and Anjou cases. If it really was one killer, why had he waited so long between attacks? And why had he chosen victims so geographically spread out? What did he do between murders? How was he supporting himself? Almost all serial killers that Danny knew of worked within a territory, a familiar killing patch, and stuck to it. Professional assassins moved around, but they focused on their targets. They didn't hang around and rape innocent bystanders. And there were other discrepancies in Matt's carbon copy killings. Didier Anjou and Andrew Jakes had both been knifed to death. Sir Piers had had his brains blown out. Jewelry was stolen from the Henley and Jakes homes, but not from Didier Anjou's, despite the fact that he had an extensive collection in plain view on his bedroom dresser. And what of the Jakes' art thefts? The rare Victorian miniatures? Where did they fit into a possible motive? Exhausted, Danny slowed the treadmill to a fast walk, letting his heart rate drop. Matt Daly was on his way back to Los Angeles. At some point next week Danny would have to call him, to update him of the record on progress. What a joke. He had nothing except a single number, 3. 3 victims. Andrew Jakes, Sir Piers Henley, Didier Anjou. 3 countries. 3 missing wives. Angela Jakes, Tracy Henley, Irina Anjou. 3. Hardly the breakthrough of the century. Instinctively, Danny felt that the key to unraveling the mystery lay in the rape of the young wives. Somewhere behind these crimes was a woman-hater. A violent, sexually motivated beast. He thought about his own wife, Celine, and felt a wave of revulsion and disgust wash over him, tinged with fear. If anything should happen to her, anything, he didn't know what he would do. He wondered for the umpteenth time about the beautiful Angela Jakes and the other women, Tracy and Irina. Were they alive, living new, unobtrusive lives somewhere, as the police in L.A., London and Saint-Tropez also badly wanted to believe? Or were they dead too, their 3 corpses rotting in unmarked graves, silent victims of this most ruthless and cunning of killers? Matt Daly pulled into his driveway feeling as nervous as a teenager on his first date. Had been gone for almost 3 weeks, the longest had been physically apart from Raquel since they married. Despite her anger, since he refused to fly home for her lawyer's meeting a week ago, she hadn't contacted him once and had refused to return his calls or emails. Matt was surprised to find that had missed her. The break had given him a renewed determination to put things right with his marriage. I've been neglecting her, he told himself. No wonder she spent so much time chasing an imaginary pot of gold in her lawyer's office. Why wouldn't she with me cooped up in my office all day, or flitting around the world trying to solve these murders? The thought crossed his mind that if he actually cracked this case, with Danny Maguire's help, if he found the killer and brought him to justice, he might make Raquel proud of him again. Then he could write a screenplay about it, sell it to a major studio, and make more money than even Raquel could dream of. It was a nice fantasy, but in the meantime he had to spend more time with her. And he would. Now that he was back, had make everything right between them again. Inside, the house was in darkness. Matt pushed aside his disappointment. It's still early, he told himself. She'll be home soon. At least this way he'd have time to shower and change, after his long-haul flight. Air France's economy seats had clearly been designed by a double-jointed munchkin and Matt's lower back was killing him. Upstairs, the bedroom was pristine, a testament to his long weeks away. Matt threw his suitcase down on the pale pink counterpane and began to undress. Only then did he see the envelope propped up against his bedside lamp. His name was on the front, in Raquel's distinctive large-looped handwriting. Matt's stomach lurched. Stop thinking the worst. It might be our welcome home card. But even as he tore open the letter, he knew that it wasn't. It was the banging that roused him. It was deafening. Lying on the floor, a small pool of saliva staining the peach check carpet in front of his face, his first thought was, someone's trying to demolish my house. With me inside it. His second thought was, good luck to them. Raquel was divorcing him. had driven her away and she was never coming back. At that moment few things seemed preferable to being crushed instantly to death by a giant pile of rubble, the debris of what had once been a happy home. Bang, bang, bang. Not a wrecking ball. A fist. On a door. An angry fist. Open up, Matt. I know you're in there. The voice was familiar, but Matt couldn't place it. Then again, after 2 bottles of wine washed down with the dregs of a bottle of vodka left over from last New Year's Eve, Matt had trouble placing his own legs. Tentatively he lifted his head off the floor, pushing back with his arms so that he was on his knees. The bedroom swam around him in peach swirls. He retched. Bang, bang, bang. I'm coming. Jesus. Matt staggered downstairs, clutching the banister like a paraplegic in a bounce house. Every step was torture, but he had to stop the noise. He opened the front door. Oh. It's you. Claire Michael's wrinkled hair nose as a waft of alcohol fumes hit her in the face. Her brother looked as if had aged 10 years. Raquel's left, me. I know, said Claire matter-of-factly. She stopped by my place to leave a stack of unpaid bills for you, in case you should ever DEDN to come home, as she put it. What am I gonna do? Sobbed Matt hopelessly. I love her, Claire. He can't live without her. Oh baloney, said his sister, pushing past him into the hall. Go upstairs and take a shower and I'll make you some breakfast. You can tell me about France. Oh, and Matt. Drink a bucket of mouthwash while you're up there, would you? Your mouth smells like something that died 2 weeks ago. Claire's breakfast was delicious. Freshly made pancakes with blueberries, walnuts and maple syrup, smoked salmon frittata and a hooga pot of strong Colombian coffee. Afterward, Matt actually felt semi-human again. She's already filed for divorce, which has to be some kind of world speed record, he told Claire gloomily. She wants half of everything. Except the bills. Except the bills. Which I totally can't pay. When they slice my credit cards in half, I'll make sure to send her share. He smiled weakly. What the hell am I going to do? Claire began clearing away the plates. You could always try working. You know, getting a job? It's this thing where you go into an office and do stuff for other people, and they pay you for it. It's really catching on. Haha, said Matt. I have a job. I'm a filmmaker. Oh. Claire's eyebrows shot up sarcastically. I see, Ingmar Bergman. And how's the great opus going? Was France everything you dreamed it would be? It was great. Matt's eyes lit up for the first time that morning. He told his sister about his meeting with Danny Maguire and the unexpected developments in the Didier Anjou case, with Irina leaving her husband's estate to charity, just as the other 2 widows had done. I know it's the same killer, the man who killed our dad. And I'm pretty sure Maguire knows it too, though has cagey about promising too much. Claire frowned. Andrew Jakes was not our dad. That was our dad. Jakes was just some fucking sperm donor. Matt was taken aback by her anger. Okay. Maybe he was. But he didn't deserve to have his head hacked off by some psycho, and for the guy to get away with it. Maybe he did deserve it. Said Claire, loading Matt's dishwasher with a series of loud clanks. Maybe he was a lousy zob. Maybe they all were. She turned to face her brother. You've already lost your marriage, Matt. Mom's upset with you, I'm upset with you. You're flat broke. Isn't it time you gave up this wild goose chase and got your life back together? If 3 police forces and Interpol have all failed to solve these murders, what makes you think you can do it? I'm smarter than them. Matt grinned, earning himself a look of withering disdain from Claire. He knew she was right. He had to find paid work, and soon, if he was going to survive this divorce and keep a roof over his head. He could still work on the documentary, still keep in touch with Danny Maguire. But he couldn't let the unsolved murders consume him the way they had been. The phone rang. They both stared at it, thinking the same thing. Raquel. Keep your cool, cautioned Claire. Don't yell at her. And don't cry. Matt picked up the handset, shaking. Hello. Danny Maguire's voice sounded distant and tinny, but the excitement and adrenaline were both clear as a bell. There's been another murder. Last night, in Hong Kong. Is it our guy? Zame Mo, said Danny. Rape, bodies bound together, rich elderly victim. Mild sparring. Matt was silent for a moment. It took a few seconds for the full import of what Maguire was telling him to sink in. The killer was not only still out there. He was becoming bolder and more active. It had barely been a year since his last hit, and yet, here he was, striking again on the opposite side of the world. Almost as if he knew that someone was watching him, knew that someone had finally found the scattered puzzle pieces and cared enough to try to arrange them into a coherent picture. After 10 long years, Hess playing to an audience, Matt found himself thinking. Hess playing to me. Where's the widow? The elation in Danny Maguire's voice was unmistakable. That's the best part. The Hong Kong police have her in protective custody. I called the guy in charge and told him what happened with the other wives. Lisa Baring's not going anywhere. Matt hung up in a daze. Who was that? Asked Claire. Not Raquel, I take it. No, sighed Matt. I need to go pack. Pack? Claire looked at him despairingly. Matthew. Have you listened to a word of what I just said? Matt walked over to his sister and kissed her on the cheek. I have. And I agree with it all. You're absolutely right, and I promise to look for a job the moment I get back from Asia. In the meantime, how are you fixed for time? I don't suppose you could give me a lift to the airport, could you?